Happy Monday, traders, and good morning. It's 8:02 a.m. from Chicago on the 12th of July, 2021. This is episode 2032 today. Derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This morning, we see a market that's actually has dipped down in the overnight session, and now the NASDAQ really pushing higher, right up against last week's high. NASDAQ is just is bucking the trend, as you can see, of the U.S. major indices. The NASDAQ is up and the rest are down or slightly down. The NQ up 68.5 points live at 14,879. And the S&P was down about 4 points, 5 points actually about 10 minutes ago, and now almost a break even. The settlement price in the S&P is 43.60. Again, the data in front of you is live. The Euro stocks and the DAX have been relatively strong overnight. We see allocation to the treasuries slightly, so we had a mild risk off posture until about 10 minutes ago or so. So again, this conversion trading pre-market summary sheet is put up at 8:50 Eastern every day on the twitter.com/conv trading Twitter feed. So with crude coming off, crude is has pushed higher, was above 74 through most of the morning, the overnight session, and has been trending down and has pulled back. Crude is down 1.17%. Copper's off over 1%. The metals slightly down, and so far the S&P has only traded 182,000 contracts. That's rounded up. And the inventory has been 90% short this morning, again contributing to the mild risk-off sentiment coming into the session today. Pretty good range overnight, 23.5 points. The S&P has pushed Friday's high, which was 43.64, and made a new all-time high in the Globex session at 65 and a quarter, point of control at 52.50, with the mid-century figure at 50 below it. So overall, the S&P is trading relatively normal in terms of range and volume. We have a somewhat of a multi-distribution profile, could be called balanced to multi-distribution. What is driving the markets this morning? We're looking at more news out of China, cracking down on stocks, IPOs, mergers, and so on. We also have Q2 earnings starting up this week. We have some key numbers coming out this week as well. Eco releases, inflation in the US, UK, and so on. Today we have a 10-year note auction at 1 p.m. and then balance of trade at 11 p.m. Eastern, along with exports and imports in China. So that's what's in play. Let's move on to the review segment here. My goal, of course, is to cut this Trader Bite down to 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm not going to get into all the stuff we went over on Friday. Friday's expectation, you can go and look it up. Just go to YouTube, do a search for Futures Trader 71, and you'll find Friday's video untouched. And Friday, the expectation was an open auction out of range that pulls back a little bit, and targeting the 47 with a push to 50, before it fails back through and finishes strong. That was the primary scenario. The scenario set out and the plan worked out with very little pullback With very little pullback, this creates a scenario where the high is now pushed up. So if I'm looking for at least a mid-gap fill and it doesn't do it, then the high then gets pushed. But I tell you what, 43.64 was not expected. There was a lot in the way. 43.50, 56, and others measured moves there, and we ended up hitting the 56 and pushing through by a little bit. And I had another one up here, but it did squeeze through. There are multiple measured move targets, but again, measured move targets are mathematical projections. They're fib extensions, so I don't lean on them that much. Again, this market with new all-time highs is not as clear to me as a market that is trading on itself. And we have history, we have volume, from the past, and we have areas where we can see the auction take place. Now we're at new all-time highs, and we're trading basically at the upper edge of Friday. We're trading right up here. We're at 43.58.75 currently. And so we have not given up much room. The overnight low is 41.75 right here. So you can see coming into today that we really sellers have not gained any territory, and buyers have continued to hold on to their gains, and we still have a gap below us. So overall, no progress by sellers. Buyers are in control, and we have everything pointing in that direction. One-time framing up settlement at 43.60, and it's just the market's continuing to chug along. Pretty good delta, positive delta with positive prices on Friday, and that's where it's at. Looking at today's action, again, the blue profiles show the pit session only, which is now in line with the cash session. The cash session closes at 4 p.m. Eastern. The pit session's in line with that now. We're not doing the 4:15 pit because of the changes in the CME recently. Basically, the futures and the cash are in line on my charts. And so you can see that we had pretty good turn and pretty good progression upwards on Friday. And again, we did have a nice little pullback. We're holding above the overnight point of control. We're holding above the overnight mid, the overnight VWAP, in a market that is seeing more and more room to the upside. So, we have 4,500. We're within a day's range, standard range of hitting 4,500 in the S&P. So that's where we're at. Pretty good rally on Friday, pretty strong movement. The profile on Friday is a classic trend profile. You can see the high volume nodes kind of migrating up with price and the point of control finishing at the upper end of the range. So the expectation is that today we would breach at 64. We did overnight. We went to 65 and a quarter, as I mentioned earlier. But in the day session, we're expecting it to breach the 64 and at least check prices up there. So that's where we stand overall. Delta is flat and prices have come back to where we opened. So overall, it seems very much in line. Quick check of the composite. The composite here is showing us that we had a minor pullback. Remember, I talked about this, that we're opening in a gap down on Thursday, not to cause that to induce panic. It's not a big deal that we're opening lower, that we hadn't given up much from the all-time highs, and not to get deceived into thinking that the rally is done and to start pressing the short side. So trade it as it comes. Trade what you see, not what you want to see or believe or hear. Just let the market prove its way, and then take a chance on whatever edge you have. So here we are. We finished the week with a higher low very important, and a higher high. So one-time framing on the weekly remained intact, and then we may establish one-time framing on the daily starting today if we can maintain Friday's low. Friday's low is 28.25. So we got a lot of room to the downside before that gets breached. So to me, we've got to start looking at we got to start looking at buying pullbacks unless we see excuse me, even if we see a drive down on the open, we still have to respect the fact that sellers are in control. If we have a drive down in the open, on the open, it's a big if. We're opening in range, so I'm expecting more chop than anything else with 43.50 below. But let's say it breaches the 43.50 and it does so by driving down. I'm still going to be suspicious of sellers maintaining pressure on buyers, and we'll be looking for signs of exhaustion on the sell side for another opportunity to get long. So that's the big trend. What are we looking at for today? First, I want to remind you at the top of the YouTube live chat, I've put up this invitation, this invitation to a webcast I'm doing with Convergent Trading featuring Jared Tendler, who is the author of the Mental Game of Trading. Very, very interesting approach to dealing with FOMO and fear and just doing, dealing with tilt and things like that. The issues that most people have when they trade. And I want to make sure that you are able to attend. There's a 3-book giveaway, a 3-book free giveaway to attendees, not registrants, but attendees. So if you can attend live, all the better. We're giving away 3 of his latest books. Thanks to him for offering that. And you can attend by going to ft71.com/Tendler, lowercase. You can see it flashing in front of you, in front of your screen here. Again, that's Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Make sure you attend. Let's take a look at what's expected for today and wrap this up. Stock zones on, master levels on, and what have we got here? Here we go. All right, so again, the point of control on Friday is right here, this black line. We're opening just below. We're opening against settlement. We basically haven't done much from Friday's close until now. So we're expecting an open auction. I'm expecting it to try to revert back, try to pull back into the 43.55, 55.54 area. So let's put that on here, 55.54. You try to write with the mouse. 54 for a base. I'm looking for, because the market finished with a point of control, trend day up with a point of control at the upper end of the range on what is a relatively weak high. The expectation is this 64 gets taken out. And I'm looking for this 65.25 to be taken out as part of the overnight stat that we're always looking for every day. I'm looking for it to push higher. If it does pull back to 55, then we're looking at 70 as 70 to 72 as the target, as the range target, the daily range target for today, and that's the primary scenario. Minor pullback, but the main play is the long. Secondary open auction that squeezes the 64, pushes the 65.25, consolidates up here, pulls back to Friday's point of control, and then moves back into range and holds steady. So we get the higher high, higher low, but mainly a a resting day, mainly a resting day today. So that's what we're looking at for today. As you can see, there's a huge gap here in projected levels and stock zones between the 43.93 and the measured move at 68 and a quarter. There's just no man's land up here. So who knows? But Monday is likely to establish a pretty decent outlook for the rest of the week. And then from today's action, I'm expecting to have a little more clarity into what's coming for the week. We're dead in the middle of summer, and the trade has been pretty good for summer trading. Unfortunately, it's continuing to grind up and grind up and grind up. But overall, we've got more volatility than I had expected. So that's pretty decent. Good luck today, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Don't forget to sign up for the Jared Tendler webcast on Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Make sure you sign up, even if you cannot attend live. This way, at least we can send you the recording. Good luck.